Welcome to day 4 of the 5-day Rekindle Your Potential Challenge. So today we're going to be talking about visual journaling. Sometimes I call it shamanic journaling because it just has amazing potential to help you tap into deep sources of wisdom that are within you. And this is very important, I think, when trying to access your, just get in touch with that part of you that's blocking you, and also to get in touch with the part of you that really believes in your potential and wants to help you achieve that. So one of the ways that, there are a lot of different ways to do visual journaling. One of the ways that I encourage people to do it is by creating a scribble drawing. Before you create your scribble drawing, I usually encourage people to set an intention. So in this case, you might set the intention, I want to be able to figure out what's blocking me or to break through this block. So it's good to write down your intention before you begin, though, because that helps you to get more clear about it. And the more clear you are about what you're wanting, the more clear your answer will be. So when you do a scribble drawing, just get a piece of paper, like a piece of copy paper, and a pencil, and hold the pencil in your non-dominant hand, and take a few deep breaths, and then close your eye, kind of put your hand down on the paper, on the center of the paper, and then close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. And just begin to move the pencil around on the paper. So you just move it around for a few seconds until it feels like it's complete, and then you stop. And then open your eyes and hold up your paper and turn it in several different directions until an image seems to show up for you. This is sort of like when you're looking at clouds and you might see a shape in the clouds, maybe part of a horse, and then you think, oh, there's a horse up there. So when you work on your scribble drawing, just see what jumps out at you. You can turn the paper in several different directions. And then using some other art supplies, if you have them, begin to kind of flesh out the background. And if it was a horse, where would the environment be? What horse would the environment be in? So then it begins to tell a story. So that's just how you do a scribble drawing in general. If you were going to do a scribble drawing about your potential, as I said, create the intention first, write it down, and then just do the scribble drawing and see what shape shows up. What image that you want to create. And then you can, if you did say see a horse, for instance, then you might ask yourself, gosh, how is that horse related to my block or my potential? This can take a little bit of time, but if you just spend some time reflecting, and sometimes I've had to wait weeks or even years to understand what some of my images from scribble drawings mean. But that's one way to access your potential using visual journaling. Another way is just to simply have a conversation with your parts, between your parts. So remember, on the first day, I asked you to get in touch with your body, and to know where your parts live or seem to originate from inside or around your body. So when you use visual journaling to explore what's blocking your potential, get in touch with that part of you that feels like it's blocking you. Maybe it's in your throat or your stomach or your shoulders. So focus on your shoulders. And just imagine that you could ask your block some questions. So maybe you would want to say, Why are you blocking me? I'm trying to move forward. I have this big dream that I'd like to accomplish, but it feels like you're standing in the way. So you just ask that question. You can ask it out loud or in your mind, and then just wait and see what response you get. And then once you get the response, write it down on paper. I like to write my visual journaling in sort of a movie script format. So the block, I would write down what the block says, and then I might write down my next question underneath that. And maybe you also want to talk to the part of you that really believes in your potential. So then you could ask that part, just focus on that part. Where's that part located? Ask that part, how can you help me step into my full potential? And focus on where that part is located. And wait for the answer. And then write that answer down. So it's sort of like you're having a conversation or a dialogue with these different parts of you, or between them. And sometimes you may not get an answer, and that's okay. Just come back another day and ask a question. And also, you can think of these parts as friends. There's a great poem that I think is written by Rumi, and he says, life is like a guest house. You never know who's going to come and go. And we can treat our parts like that too. Imagine that they are visitors that come to our guest house, because really they do. When they step into the driver's seat, it's like, oh, here's my block part, and what is my block part wanting to say today? But if you were, imagine that you're greeting a friend that you haven't seen for a while, and you wouldn't just say, what do you mean? What's going on with you? You'd probably try to get to know them a little bit, maybe, because if you hadn't seen them for a while, you'd want to get caught up. So imagine that your parts are like friends that you haven't seen for a while, and spend some time getting to know them. Ask them what their strengths are. Ask them what qualities they bring, and how they're trying to help you function and survive. And if you spend some time getting to know them, that way you can build some trust between those parts of you. And that way, when you start making friends with your parts and trying to understand them, they will know that you appreciate them, and they'll be more likely to cooperate with you. I have another way that you can work with these parts is to really just ask them, especially when you're asking them questions, try not to censor or judge them. I know that can be hard, especially if you have a part that it feels like, you're blocked. Why are you blocking me from achieving this dream that I have? But if you just try to be gentle and come from a place of compassion and caring, they're likely to respond better. I'm going to share with you in the group an image that I made that helped me understand a block. So I was a young mother, but I was older and had a young child, and was wanting to return to work, and I wasn't finding any work. I just wanted some part-time work, and I couldn't find any work. So I did a scribble drawing, and what emerged was a bird, and the bird had a really interesting body posture that it had taken. And so that's another thing that you can do, is to, when you, like if you were to see a horse in your image, stand like a horse and just see what thoughts come to your mind. When I took the body posture of this bird that I had drawn, it was like the chest was back and the belly was forward, and it was a really awkward position. But what it helped me realize was that a part of me was holding back, that my heart, in my heart I wanted to stay at home with my baby, but another part of me, my will, which is located in the lower part of the body, in your solar plex chakra, that part of me was like, yes, let's go back to work. But those parts were fighting with each other, and so it's no wonder that I couldn't find work. I'm sure that when I was talking to people, or even when I was trying to look for work, I had that ambivalent energy, and so of course I couldn't attract what I wanted. So those are just some ways that you can use visual journaling to connect with parts and to break through blocks to so that you can rekindle your potential. So be watching for that image, and if you make a scribble drawing, share it in the group. I would love to see it, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you tomorrow when we'll be talking about how to use energy work to break through blocks to potential. Have a great day.